Some lessons come really, really easy in life. But have you ever had a friend, a family member, even a child that, especially a grown child, but even anyone that has had a problem and you can see right through it? You're like, what's wrong with them? Why don't they see this? You see the problem, the answer, the solution, the reasoning behind it, the mistakes that are being made. That's because you are not the one in the midst of that problem. That is not your lesson. But for those that are in the midst of that lesson, those are the hard lessons. And believe it or not, it's the hard lessons that truly shape who we are, who we become. And if I haven't learned anything else, I've learned that the sooner we learn those lessons, the better off we'll be. Sometimes those lessons can turn your whole life around. And that's why in 2025, there are 4 lessons that I am going to focus on. They're hard-hitting lessons, but over the course of time and years, they have actually changed my perspective. And if you take them seriously, they might just change your perspective too. You know, life throws us curveballs, things that aren't anticipated. They aren't always directly related to us, but they fall in our lap and they become part of our life. Plans change, people change, our bodies even change. Circumstances can change. And the one thing that you really, really don't want to do is cling on to what could be. Cling on to the way it was. Cling on to how you thought it should be. And that also includes people. Sometimes you have to not only let go of circumstances, change your way of thinking, but sometimes you have to let go of people as well. Just hanging on to all that stuff is nothing but a recipe for frustration and sometimes disaster. I've learned that being able to adapt, being able to change, I like to say just pivot, it can be crucial, not only for your personal development, but for your peace of mind. So in 2025, I'm going with the flow. All right? My favorite new word is okay. Something's changing? Okay. Need to do something differently? Okay. Just go with the flow. I'm going to embrace change and look for opportunities in everything that changes, whether it's good or bad. There's always a positive. And within that positive, there's usually an opportunity. Now, if you think that's the only hard lesson people need to learn, wait until you hear the next lesson. Connections, connections, connections. You need to learn how to prioritize your connections. You know, it takes a friend to be a friend. So if you feel that you don't have the appropriate time to be that friend, then you may want to hold off on trying to cultivate a friendship. You've heard that everything is a two-way street. Well, someone's always calling you or contacting you or offering whatever it is they may have, their time, their space, a cup of coffee. You have to prioritize your connections. You cannot connect to everyone. Sure, it's good to have connections all over, but the meaningful ones, the ones that you want to cultivate, you also have to prioritize. You know, the older you get, the more you start realizing time is a precious thing. And what truly matters are the relationships that we cultivate. You know, it's not about having 1 million followers all over social media or anything like that, or having 20 platforms and being the top on each of the platforms, but having true, deep connections with people that see you for who you are and can appreciate that. In 2025, it's time to focus on quality friendships over quantity of friendships. You need to make sure that you're present when you're speaking with someone. If someone calls you and you decide to give your time to interact with them, to speak with them, to spend some time with them, you need to be present within the conversation. Not half listening because you're fumbling with something over here and you got something else over here going on and you're trying to read something, mails come in. No, focus on the relationship that's at hand. And always, always express appreciation for those who are in your life. Now, before we get into the next lesson, which might just change your perspective on life, if you want to start having a purpose-driven life, take a second and subscribe to the channel. The one thing that we all need to do, no matter what age, is to invest in our well-being. This might seem obvious, even maybe a little trivial, because sometimes we think we know everything, okay? Our health, okay? We get one shot at life, and we have to take care of our personal well-being, our physical well-being, our mental well-being, and our spiritual well-being. You can't really cultivate friendships if you're not well yourself, be it physically, mentally, or spiritually. We have to learn to take time out for ourselves. We've all heard the saying, okay? If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody else. That is so, so true. You can't even enjoy anything if you're not feeling well. 2025, I am absolutely 100% committed to my personal well-being. That means regular exercising, eating healthy, getting a good night's sleep, which sometimes can be hard. Sometimes we have so many things going on in our mind that we're constantly thinking when we should be sleeping. And sometimes it's even about the next day. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. Oh, I forgot to do this. I forgot to do that. Mind is constantly spinning. And practicing and taking care of yourself also means being kind to yourself. Stop the negative thoughts about yourself. If you're going to think negative about yourself, why should anyone else think anything differently? Okay? You need to have positive thoughts. Oh, I look nice today. Oh, I like my hair today. Oh, this or that. I'm trying to lose weight. I haven't lost a lot of weight, but I feel better. I feel better on the inside. And all of these things take time. So you can't say, oh, well, I went to bed last night at 9 o'clock and I didn't wake up until 7. So I got a good amount of sleep, but I'm still tired. Well, you didn't get tired in one single day. That's built up over time of not resting, time of not sleeping. Maybe get in a routine. Routines can be wonderful when it comes to self-care. Every night, put the cell phone down, turn the TV off, grab a nice, pleasant book, all right? Take a bubble bath. Take just a hot shower before you go to bed, all right? Wash your face before you climb into bed. Brush your teeth. Perk yourself up. And then lay down. Maybe lay down with a book that's calming to you or some gentle music. And you'll find that you'll not only fall to sleep faster, probably stay asleep longer. And make sure that when you sleep, something that I do that works really well for me is I sleep in a cooler environment. Turn the heat down. If you have a fan, turn the fan on. Now, you might get back up in an hour or something and turn it back off, but it will help you calm down. You might think, ooh, I'm cold. You don't need to be freezing cold, but if you lower your temperature a little bit in your environment, you can create a real peaceful night's sleep. Now, I've said this plenty of time. You know what? Age is just a number. We have got to keep learning. All right? Stop saying, oh, I'm too old to learn this. I can't figure it out. I'm old. I always say in this day and age, if you have an iPhone or an Android or a cell phone, period, and you're taking pictures and you're texting someone, you can learn everything else because it's all basically technology. But find something. It doesn't have to be technology related. Go take a sewing class and maybe you already know how to sew, but maybe it'll bring back some memories. Join a group somewhere where there are other people doing something that you might want to do. Go to the library. Go on simple walks, but don't stop learning. You can just go on a walk and start looking around. There's always something new to learn. There's always something new to discover. Pick up some leaves and figure out what kind of tree this is that it came off of. What kind of sap does this tree have? There's always something new to discover. When you stay curious, you stay engaged. You keep learning. This year, 2025, I'm going to step out of my comfort zone and I'm going to learn something new. Exactly what it is, I don't know yet, but I've got a couple of things on my radar. Something new. Get involved in something that maybe you've thought about previously, but now is the time. You have the time, you have the space, you have the energy to learn something new. And there is absolutely no such thing as a dumb question. There's also no such thing as, oh, you mean to tell me you don't know that? Just remember that just because you know something, it doesn't mean the next person does. So that means you can also offer your knowledge to other people. There is knowledge in your story, whatever that story may be. There's something to be learned. There's something for someone else to know in your story. Okay? So find a younger person if you're a seasoned person like myself and just talk to them. All right? Sometimes our stories can lead to new developments and new discoveries that we didn't even know we had. But always, always keep asking questions. All right? It's never a dumb question just because you don't know something. None of us came here knowing anything but technically how to swim, cry, and breathe, okay? We've been taught everything. And just because someone else knows something that you don't, ask that question. Because that only means they learned it before you did. So keep asking questions. These are my 4 key lessons for 2025. They may sound simple. They are simple, but they are very, very powerful. And they're also lessons that I remind myself to keep working on a daily basis. So what are your lessons for 2025? What are you focusing on in 2025? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And if you like this video, I am sure you will like this video where I break down everyday items that you should be cleaning, but probably are not. I'm Pam, and this is my POV.